What is going on, everybody? It is Review It with Jew. Is Jew here with another review? Actually, I'm not reviewing anything. I'm just want to talk about something that kind of crossed my mind. Actually, crossed my mind a while back. It really did. It really crossed my mind a while back. So, as we know, the Wakanda Forever film just came out last week, and there's been some talk about the Wakanda Forever film, but I haven't heard a whole lot of people talk about the subject of Namor, as far as Namor being implemented into the film or being brought into the film of Black Panther Wakanda Forever. Now, me personally, there was a couple things I had an issue with Black Panther before it came out, Wakanda Forever, and one of them was the fact there was no T'Challa. That didn't sit right with me, but I thought it was cool that there was a Namor in the film, but at the same time, I also had the second thought of Namor was like, maybe why did Namor not have a standalone film before Black Panther? Now, to me, that would have been the best case scenario to get a build up situation into the clash. We have seen that in the past with the Avengers where they each had standalones and then they had the clash, right? But Namor came a little bit later. I guess they could say this is phase 4, whatever. And to me, I've had this thought process like, would it have been probably the best case scenario that Namor would have had a standalone film before going into the Black Panther film? This is my personal opinion. I think that if we would have got a film, a origin, it don't even necessarily got to be an origin. They don't got to start from the very beginning, but to give us a reason behind his life and what he's up to, why, and then they could have at the end of the film showed him discovering Wakanda, and then it would have just froze from there. Like, even at the end credit scene, like, I was trying to figure. I was asking myself, like, could that have made the film better if we had had a Namor film, and then the cameos in the Namor film would have had the Wakandans in it, or it referenced the Wakandans in the film, and then it would have been a better clash. Now, we rather introduce him to them, and then he gets into a fight with them. Now, look, what I'm trying to say is, like, I feel like there was a lot of rushing going on here. First of all, with Black Panther, let's make Namor the enemy, right? But the first standalone film, you killed off Killmonger and you killed off Claw, and you already sided with M'Baku. So these are the enemies, right? These are the enemies of T'Challa, the known enemies from the books. So what gets me is that you made Namor the enemy of Wakanda Forever. So what I'm trying to figure out is, would it have been a better film or a better clash of films if you'd have had a standalone first? Now, I'm probably sure at this point, after this film, they're definitely gonna have a standalone for Namor. Which direction are they gonna go? Are they gonna go after this and make him kind of, the friend or the ally, or are they gonna make it show before? But I think going backwards, I mean, they can go backwards, don't get me wrong. You can go backwards. You can show what it was. You can show him from a kid to a man. You can show it from the start. Now, I know there was like little glimpses of what he was and what he did in the film, but I just think that at this point, I don't know what direction you would go with Namor. I just think if you would have had a Namor standalone film before Black Panther, Wakanda Forever, you could have had a better. Uh, it could have been more hype. Because when you think about the Avengers, right? They came at Iron. I'm trying to remember the exact order. Iron Man was out. I think it was Captain America. I think it was Iron Man, Captain America. Then I want to say, Thor. Yes, I think it was Captain America. I think it was Iron Man, Captain America. Then it was Thor, and then I think they finally had in the Avengers. The Avengers brought in Hawkeye and so on. But then after that, there was the sequels to all those films, and then at some point, Spider-Man came along, and they were kind of it was building the hype, and then there was Avengers 2, so the hype just got bigger and bigger. Once you got Avengers 2, and then you got the part 3, the Captain America 3, and you brought in Black Panther as a cameo. Then you got hype for the standalone film. You see what I'm saying? It wasn't like Black Panther was like a main character, not like that. It was getting you ready. So now you got a standalone. So Namor just jumps into a actual Black Panther film and is an actual main character, main villain, main / whatever, and is now one of a character, like one of the main characters. Like, so to me, I feel like if we would have just got, because we had other films, other random Marvel films. Like I don't want to necessarily disrespect the Marvel genre, but Eternals, you know what I mean? Like all these films that people were okay with, but I would say you had shows on Disney like Moon Knight. But to me, if you would have just like for Doctor Strange, let me use Doctor Strange for instance. True comic book fans knew of Doctor Strange. Me, personally, did not read Doctor Strange as a kid. I remember seeing him on like the animations and stuff like that. When the film came out, I had a coworker talk me into seeing Doctor Strange. When Doctor Strange came out, I remember going to the movies and watching that movie, and I thought that was one of the most amazing films I've ever seen. And I said, I don't know Doctor Strange, bro, but that film was fire. So now you have brought him into the Avengers, which was new to me, because I guess you could, to a high degree at that time, you could say I was definitely a casual when it came to like being a true Marvel fan. Because yes, I always watched Spider-Man, read a few Spider-Man comics, X-Men. And X-Men, when it comes to the films, it was owned by Fox, so they weren't even part of the MCU. But X-Men, those are the people, those are the books I read growing up. The books, the cartoon, or animation film, whatever. Besides DC, we all was in Batman. We all, Superman. But there was some that brought me. I didn't read Namor. I did not read Namor growing up. I seen him. I've heard of him. It just didn't look like anything I was interested in. Just like Aquaman. I've seen him. I've heard of him. Had no interest in Aquaman whatsoever. I feel like this phase of Marvel was rushed, kind of like what DC did. I feel like they rushed into the Justice League. Why was Justice League dropped before the standalone films of Aquaman? Why was all that stuff brought in? Because you had Superman versus Batman, and then you were already introducing us to the upcoming films, and we still ain't even got a Flashpoint. Due to the actor, probably, but we still ain't even got a Flashpoint. So we're sitting here like, okay, I think it's very important to strategically drop films based off just I just think there's a strategy to this. I think you have to be very smart. You got to be very. You have to. It's kind of like when you're trying to sell. Don't get me wrong. Wakanda Forever sold. It did what it did. But I think that the reason Put it like this: Wakanda Forever is not going to sell if there's no Black Panther Chadwick Boseman version, the actual male version of not Chadwick, Black Panther T'Challa. There's no T'Challa version that jumped into the Avengers, jumped into the standalone film he had, and all that stuff in Endgame. There's no T'Challa. I'm telling you, Wakanda Forever does not sell. Wakanda Forever does not have any hype because T'Challa was the hype, the suit, the look, the moves, a new face. To some people, representation. It was new. It was definitely new for Marvel when they brought him into Captain America. Like, it was something that everybody and their brother was hyped for. But I think with this, if you take out Namor, you take out no T'Challa in Wakanda, there's people just looking like, what is this? Would they watch it? Sure. Would it blow up the way it did now? No. So I think you could have had, let's say, last year, you dropped a Namor film. Not a series, not a Disney show. We're talking about an actual film, a movie, box office hit, made it cool as hell. It ain't too late, don't get me wrong, they may make one, but I just feel like this would have been better first to even build more hype for Wakanda Forever. Because like it's one of the reasons why I initially would want to see Wakanda Forever, but with no T'Challa, I was like, nah. But then you brought in Namor, like, okay, new character, definitely. But it's just thinking about it and looking at it, it's just like, I don't know. Tell me what y'all think. And just keep in mind, I just read the new Namor comic, the Submariner, Conquer Shore Part 1. That review is coming up real soon. And yeah, tell me what y'all think in the comments. Do you think that they should have made a Namor standalone film first before Wakanda Forever? Or do you think it was fine the way it was and we're just going to run off of that? Deuces.